I guess you can blow through and get to max level, and blow through all the content in about 4 hours, which is not enough.
Oh wow.
Uh, yeah, like, what is this, an indie game?
Right. Yeah.
What are we what are we doing here?
This is of Minecraft Dungeons. So that came out, or it's either out or going to be out very soon. Is it out? Okay. I think the
Yeah.
embargo lifted before the game was out. But this was on PC. So Metacritic has overall a 76 for Minecraft Dungeons. Destructoid has the top one here at gave it an 80. Minecraft has proven itself to be quite the enduring and endearing IP over the past decade, and Dungeons is now partially responsible for that legacy. IGN give it a 7 out of 10. Simple and fun to play, Minecraft Dungeons is a good entry-level dungeon crawler, but it doesn't dig too deep rather. Games Radar Plus gave it a 70. Mojang smartly streamlined dungeon crawler makes for a more accessible alternative in the action RPG space. And then Game Informer has a review in progress. Overall, Minecraft Dungeons takes some bold swings and provides a different flavor of action RPG. If you're hungry for something casual and new, Dungeons might be a good fit, but it won't be for everyone. How are you feeling about this? Have you watched footage? Is this kind of on your radar?
I'm overall kind of negative on it. It's been in development forever, and I guess you can blow through and get to max level, and blow through all the content in about 4 hours, which is not enough.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like, what is this, an indie game?
Right. Yeah.
What are we doing here? I don't know. It feels weird. Like, I've seen one-man dev teams working on, um, dungeon crawlers of a similar concept of making your own spells and going on with that, and their games look better and have more girth to them. Like, it's so, yeah, it's strange to me. And it doesn't feel very Minecrafty. Like, yeah, it's got the block graphics. It's got apparently some of the enemies, which I didn't know about some of these enemies that Minecraft have. Some of these are quite creepy. Like the guy who's carrying around like a hatchet, or this thing that like springs these weird spike things at you. I didn't know those were in there. But yeah, there's no destructibility or real creation, which is so strange, right? Like Minecraft, like you could even have someone just aesthetic, like somebody pointed out, you can't even break barrels. So if you see a barrel, you can't break the barrel. That's marching around a dungeon 101 right there. So
Right.
if there are explosions, there's lots of like TNT stuff, like, so if it could like at least blow up the walls in a way that was, maybe it doesn't really blow new paths, or maybe occasionally it does, but for the most part I think that would have been cool. It doesn't seem to do anything with the fact that, yeah, the graphics are extremely simple and I'm sure cost nothing to render. So they could have like multiplied the enemy count by 10 easily, and just pouring on all these waves and really kind of done something with that. And they didn't. So there's no creation, there's no destruction. The most you can do is kind of make your own spells, which is kind of neato, but not that in depth. And then it does at least have procedurally generated dungeons, and from what I saw, they look quite good. It had cool stuff going on in the background. It was pretty intricate layouts, but I hear they're pretty forgettable. So I don't know. It's sort of disappointing. They didn't really do much with the IP. They just sort of had that layer of paint on it. The fact that it's been in development for so long and it's kind of just okay looking. And then people mentioned that while there's not that much content there for what you paid for, there's also already a huge coming soon DLC section in there. So people are not sure what to expect from that. How much is that going to be? Is it going to be worth it?
Right.
So
Yeah, it's interesting for them to drop the ball like that. And there's almost no excuse. They're a huge developer, Mojang. They have so much money under their belt now, or the ability, the resources to create something that's more fleshed out. But and it's a bummer because on paper this seems like it would work really well. I feel like this, as far as how you could expand the Minecraft world into other types of gameplay, this one would work great. It's already in grid form, with how you'd run around. And it just watching the trailer, the footage, it looks really dope. But it's a bummer it's not as deep and not as filled with features like it should be at this point. They even delayed it. I think it was already 3 months pushed forward. Sure. It was supposed to be a time earlier. But is this is multiplayer though? Is it any more fun? I imagine with other people.
Probably. I know that was one comment they kind of mentioned. It doesn't auto scale, so if you're playing with somebody who's a different level than you, either you're overpowered, or you're going to be underpowered, or yeah. So there's no quite balance there.
Yeah.
Kind of like a lot of other games have had. Like I think Borderlands pulled it off flawlessly with Borderlands 3. Um, but yeah, I didn't really have expectations, but I'd hoped it'd do something a little more original. I'd be curious, kind of know you play Minecraft. I don't know what they could have done in your mind to kind of make it a bit more Minecrafty as well. I don't know
I
what
mean,
pillars.
right off the bat, with the ability to create stuff in real time. So maybe, and I'm not sure if that's already in the game, but if you're creating defenses with the ability to build stuff like that, if you can really terraform the world in a way that suits you, so you can kind of solve puzzles that way, or just create barriers, or like kind of shoo in enemies a certain way by destructing the world and creating that way. That could be cool, but it doesn't seem like that's what's going on here. But for a Minecraft fan, I guess as long as they're a bit more actiony, which this game does seem to be, that would pull me in as someone who's not a fan, or just like on paper not traditionally a fan of like the dungeon crawler RPG stuff, because they're a bit more like technical or hardcore. This one seems like just a funner version of that, but at the same time I do want something that's worth the time and is replayable and that kind of thing. It doesn't seem like they're nailing it there.
Right, and that's I think you're right with the crafting thing, like building up stuff. That would be pretty cool. Like you get to the end of a dungeon, then you get to build up all your fortifications for something to kind of come through and deal with some waves. That'd be a lot of fun, but can't all be Fortnite.
Right.
Fortnite, original Fortnite. Save the world.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, forget about that. The OG Fortnite, as the kids call it.
OG Fortnite. I don't think the kids call it anything.
No.